the main sponsor for the National Development Summit, but we also support Brendan by sponsoring his monthly events as well. I think Brendan's great at bringing a group of people, filling a room, and it's not a stuffy. He never runs that stuffy networking events. It's very, very friendly. Everyone's very approachable, and you get some really good quality people there. And it's like a monthly club to meet your friends really, and make new ones. To give you an example, we've done the last 2 projects or the last 2 crowdfunds with Evan Main-Donald. We raised close to 1.5 million for him in the last few months, and I met him at the National Development Summit last year. So met him there, had a few chats, continued that on over a few coffees, and that turned into a really good relationship. So obviously Crowd With Us, property crowdfunding platform, and so Evan wanted to do a raise on the platform. We discussed about building his profile and whatnot, and Evan's made a really big emphasis on increasing and promoting his brand this year. So we were able to help him with that. Initially, we did a smaller raise of 130 grand for some units in Gloucester, and we launched it, and within 24 hours we'd raised 300 grand towards that project. And by the time we closed it, because obviously the difference between our platform and some of the others is that you can only invest the funds that you've transferred into your e-wallet. So we had everyone transferring funds into the project, and by the time that they'd actually put all the funds into the escrow account, and the deal had closed with 1.5 million pounds on the way. And that was the best raise we'd done to date, working very closely with Evan, and that gave Evan the confidence to come back a couple of months later and do a much larger raise, which was Lime Grove, which we closed in December, and within 3 weeks we'd raised 1.13 million pounds. So these were both equity investments, both 12-month projects. So the first one, well, they'll both be paying out in 2019, all being well. So they're still ongoing. We have, so I think next week there's a site visit. So one of the things for us is and one of the benefits of crowdfunding is integrating with the investors and education and whatnot. So we've got a site visit in Gloucester where we're inviting all of the investors in both those projects along. They'll be able to do site visits on both projects. We're going to go for some canapes and drink somewhere. But the other thing is as well that looking at the bigger picture, we've also opened that up to our whole investor database. So anyone else wants to come along, they can also join. And the whole thing is around education. So the great thing about crowdfunding, which wouldn't have happened in the past, is that investors with no experience can invest alongside really experienced investors, and they can interact with developers, experienced developers that ordinarily in days gone by they wouldn't have had the chance to do. One of the things that I'm sure you're aware of, Luke, but maybe the people watching are not, that originally we built the platform to fund our own deals. So we were developers ourselves, development projects, and when we actually pivoted our model to give access to other developers' projects. And the reason for that was we built the platform from scratch, so all of our technology is actually in-house. We didn't buy it off a shelf. We realised that a year of sourcing our own deals, managing our own projects, running a regulated platform, marketing to investors nearly killed us. And since, quite fortuitously for us, the FCA regulated investment back in 2014, we had all our friends and contacts and friends of friends knocking on the door. These were all developers saying, can we use your platform? We thought, hang on a minute, why are we doing all our own projects when we can actually be the financiers for all these other developers? So since we pivoted our model, we funding other developers' projects, we said that if any deal that we put on the platform, we'd do the same level of due diligence as if we were to invest in it ourselves. That's not to say that we invest in every deal, because we don't. It's just that we do the same level of due diligence. And it's interesting because the FCA don't actually require that's such a high level of due diligence. It's just something that we want to be around in many years to come. So it's something that we want to do. And just to go on from that, as such, we employed. I think Brian actually spoke at the summit today, and anyone that saw him speak will have had a real treat. He was one of the top underwriters at Octopus. He's a chartered accountant, and so he comes from the senior lending world, Mast Haven, UTB, etc. And with him, we've built a whole system of, so we have a 3-step system of due diligence, which is we do DD on the deal itself. Once we're happy that the deal stacks up, we do DD on the developer. And the great thing about that is we're able to tap into our technology. So we do everything from credit checks, fraud checks. We're plugged into the worldwide fraud database, social media searches. So using our technology, we can any information that's out there, we're able to tap into that. And then lastly, we have legal due diligence. So we're the only platform, to my knowledge, or one of the very few that actually have a lawyer that sits on our side that represents the investors' interests. So although we've raised all the funds, we don't actually release those funds until our lawyer gives us a thumbs up and basically says that all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, all the undertakings and everything else is in place. Yeah, we've got a real focus. We've just taken some, I can't really say too much, but we've just taken some key investors on board. We're really focusing on scaling up and growing the business and look to be, yeah.